did she tell me to show it?
No. Yeah.
Babe, every night you've been the dumbest here.
No. How, babe? How, honey? No. How? No.
I remember hearing a saying that every dog has its day. Am I correct? Somebody correct me. And sadly for Beck, she's been used to intimidating people with her husband, especially Rachel and Steve-O, because they find them as the weakest link. So they've been able to sort of manipulate them and get them to say or do whatever they wanted. So the idea that she decided to tangle with Juliet is not the one of the two. Juliet is a different frequency. She goes from 0 to 100. Look at how she treated her husband, let alone you that she doesn't know. And she's already promised that she is ready to go. All Gia needs to do is just wind her up and throw her in the ring and off she goes. So the idea that Beck wanted to come for her and then was sort of taken aback doesn't make sense. For her to have her husband say, I don't want people to disrespect my wife. Buddy, your wife is the one who started with the disrespect. She's the one who started the disrespect. You've been trying to intimidate Rachel and Stephen to get them to forgive your wife for the things that she said. And yet suddenly you're offended so much so that you want to leave the retreat. Don't let the door hit you on where the good Lord split you. And I'm here for Stella playing the traffic warden. No. And poor little Alyssa is sitting in the corner. She doesn't know what to do with herself. It was the funniest thing ever, and I love it. And the fact that you had, Scott back his wife and sort of back Danny into a corner because Danny was used to intimidating Steve-O and nobody else is Steve-O. Joel keeping quiet. Oh my God, was chef's kiss because he said, I've already had my share of Juliet's wrath. I don't want any piece of that, and I'm here for it because he's being a rider. He's going to sit there, he's going to keep quiet, and that's it. Anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. We're still trying to get to 6,000. Click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight Australia, Season 13, Episode 23. So obviously you have Rachel having walked away because she is in her feelings about the whole situation with this woman. And Beck, I don't understand what she doesn't understand, because at the end of the day, she offended someone and suddenly wants that person to forgive her and move on. I don't think it's because she wants forgiveness. I think she wants it sort of ironed out. That way when they get to the commitment ceremonies, the experts don't drag her out for it. And I hope that production is going to let the experts know, and they're really going to drag her for filth, because it's the audacity to say something very crass and then take offense that somebody is not accepting your apology. Make it make sense. Anyway, so everybody sits down and then they were asking, so what's happened to Rachel? Because the couples are back together. Rachel and Stephen are suddenly disappeared. They're not there. You have Beck say, oh, Rachel's gone to bed because she's really upset with Stephen because he spoke to me. And so, she doesn't understand why he sort of went behind her back. She feels betrayed. And everyone was upset. They were upset. They were, why did you speak to him? Because she was asked, why did you speak to him? How long did you speak to him? And it's like, you offended Rachel, and then you tried to get her husband to gang up with you, to intimidate her into accepting your apology. Doesn't make sense. I really don't like it. Obviously, you had Danny and Scott have a clash, because then you had the girls speak up. Gia and company were not having it, and they were saying, Beck, you are wrong for what you did. You need to take responsibility for that. And it's like Beck uttered whatever she uttered, and then she wanted everybody else to hop, skip, and jump and ignore it. She's saying, oh, I didn't mean any malice. It's just, Rachel is milking it, and now she's making a bigger deal. It's like, how can you tell someone when to be offended and how to be offended by the words that came out of your mouth directed at them? Make that make sense? So for the husbands to clash, I love it, because you had Danny sort of say, you are lying. And I love that Scott stood up for his wife and said, what do you mean my wife is lying? Don't call my wife a liar. And as soon as he was told that, Danny is sort of retreated, because I think he's used to intimidating guys and is not used to sort of guys standing up to him. And so the idea that Scott had the audacity to sort of bite back is something he wasn't expecting. And I'm here for it. And I'm just laughing and thinking, oh my God, what is wrong with you, buddy? What is really wrong? So you in the morning you have the couples meet up, they make breakfast and they have breakfast together. Rachel and Stephen are not there. Danny and Beck are not there. I think everybody else has asked for them not to be there. So the couples were sitting and eating their breakfast and they were asking Joel that how have things been going with Juliet? And he said, this is the best 4 days we've had. We haven't argued. We've been really getting along very well. So we are in this very good space. And it's like, I love it for them. If they're happy, we love it. On her part, Beck is with Danny. She's making breakfast, and she was complaining that we feel isolated. Nobody wants to talk to us. Nobody has been around to sort of check on us. This whole thing has been blown out of proportion, and it's like, it has been blown out of proportion because of the words that came out of your mouth. Had you not said what you did, and then had you not gone to your husband crying and tried to intimidate Rachel and Stephen to accept your apology, this whole thing would have been ironed out. Had you been woman enough to sort of say, Rachel, can we sit aside and just have a quick conversation before the girls' party? Everybody would have been okay with you, but you decided to behave like a genius, and everybody's just giving you, your accolades as you deserve them. You had Beck sort of complaining that Rachel was happy, for the girls to use that little comment that wasn't malicious to sort of attack me. And it's like, girl, you think that way. That doesn't mean that that's how Rachel feels. Rachel is entitled to feel how she feels. And everybody else, you've opened the door, they're going to step in because you've already offended a couple of people. I think the only person, she's offended everybody actually, all the wives. The only person she hasn't offended is Chris and Scott. Otherwise, everybody else, she's run through them. So the idea that she's expecting anyone to check in on her doesn't make sense. Her only friend was Rachel. And now that she's offended Rachel, she's got no one to come to her sort of rescue. Rachel, on her part, had a day out with Steve. I think production took them out. I think they were crying and she was very sad, so they decided for her mental well-being to take them out. She said, she still feels betrayed by the fact that, Stephen had a private conversation with Beck away from her, and so this is something that they're trying to deal with. And she says that, she feels like Beck made a big deal out of nothing, made a joke out of it. The fact that Beck spoke about the match, I think, just further sort of exacerbated things. Had she only made the crass joke that she made, I think they would have been able to get over it. But the fact that she was talking about making merch and forcing people to wear it and forcing people to buy it, this is the issue that they have. And because these two people have been struggling with their physical intimacy, for you to then have someone try and make a mockery of anything that you've made or you've done to sort of progress your relationship, I get where Rachel is coming from. I totally agree with her. You have Stella and Phillip. They also had a beach day. They were really sweet and cute and they're enjoying themselves. Obviously, they're still talking about this, I love you, I love you. On his part, Phillip seems very happy. He's excited. He said, I love you. On her part, Stella has reservations because they've said, I love you. What's next? That is the problem. What is next from I love you? How do we plan a future surrounding this I love you and nurture it to grow and sort of develop deep roots? I think this is where her issue is. And kudos to her for telling production that I do not want to be asked about the I love yous. I do not want to speak about the I love you because that would have been their storyline for the rest of the season. So her standing up to them, kudos to her. Kudos to her. Back at the homestead, you have everybody just relaxing. They're playing games, they're joking, they're happy, they're excited to be there, they're sunbathing. Everybody's just at peace. And for Danny and Beck, they can't go to everybody else. They're trying to make themselves the victims. I think they know that this is not a good look. So they were just sitting there with her sunbathing and him sort of playing his cornhole or whatever it's called. And it's like, this really looks bad. It really looks bad. You then had Juliet and Gia go for a chat. They are united. They are united. They've been looking for a target. They've been looking for a way to get to Beck. And now they finally found the road and they're on it and they're going to ride at dawn because they were chatting about, the things that Beck has done in the experiment. The fact that she's attacked other couples and also the fact that she's gone after Rachel and Steve-O. Sadly for her, Rachel and Steve-O, I think are much loved, more loved than she is. And because of that, everyone can see through it. So they were talking about the comments that were made and how they feel like, somebody has to call out Gia because they cannot continue to go down this road whereby she continues to say things that hurt people and nobody holds her accountable. I totally agree with it. Beck, on her part, has decided to make herself a victim because she was crying to Danny. She's saying that nobody's checked up on us. You know, we've been isolated. We feel like everybody's turned on us. And it's like the problem you have is you've fallen out with Gia and her husband already before. You've fallen out with Joel, which means his wife is most probably not going to come and check on you. You've fallen out with Alicia, so she's not going to come and check on you. You've fallen out with Stella. She's and her husband are not going to come and check in on you. You've fallen out with Rachel. The only people you haven't fallen out with is Chris and Sam. And so I was surprised. I wasn't surprised when I saw Chris and Sam come in and check in on them and just say, you know, it is what it is. I think Sam is in this situation whereby he was sat next to you back when she said whatever she said the first time, and then when she said it to the group. And so he feels uncomfortable. He's saying it's a small comment. And it's like, yes, it might be a small comment, but it depends on what context it was said. And also the fact that she went on to say she wants to create merch is the other problem that is there. Had she not gone on to make all the other comments that she made, I think there wouldn't be an issue. But because she went on to make these other comments, this is why there's now a problem. You have Rachel come back from her date. She has a quick little catch up with Alicia. They've been friends since Brooke and Gia were attacking Alicia. So I get them sitting down and sort of having a conversation and a debrief. I think they have a better friendship as compared to the friendship that Rachel had with Beck. Anyway, you then have the two musketeers turn up. You have Juliet and Gia. So they turned up and they were really stirring the pot. They were adding salt, pepper, curry, cumin, paprika, everything they were pouring in the pot. Whatever Beck had said, they were over exaggerating it to some extent. And I love the production was sort of playing side by side whatever they were saying as compared to a clip of what was actually said, which was really chef's kiss. So they wanted to make sure that Rachel knew that they'd been told that there was a falling out between Rachel and her husband because Rachel felt betrayed by her husband. And so they were saying that, you know, Danny attacked Gia because, you know, he called her a liar. And I get the other ladies have an issue with Beck, and it's always important to tread a fine line, especially when it comes to Gia or Beck, because they're not the best. They're okay when they're fighting for you, but they can easily turn on you the same way they turned on each other last time. So kudos to Rachel for sort of trying to tread the fine line and make sure that, you know, she doesn't sort of end up the casualty of this war. You have all the couples, they're getting ready for the night. Obviously, the topic of conversation is the issue between Rachel and Beck, and people don't know how that's going to be addressed. Beck, on her part, is still playing victim to her husband, and it's like, buddy, you're not the victim. You created this mess because you felt isolated or you felt uncelebrated because everybody else was celebrating Stephen and Rachel. Had you not created that mess, then you would have been the center of attention and people would be celebrating your growth, but you had growth for a week or two and now you're back to regular schedule. Anyway, you have Stephen on his part saying Rachel is upset. She's still upset. She was hesitant about going to the mixer, which makes sense that, you know, she has been hurt by the whispers and everything else that has been said. And so she's sort of debating whether or not to go. And I understand that. I really do. Everybody else meets up for the mixer. You have Danny and Beck come. And Beck is still playing the victim. And it's like, why are we playing the victim? Own what you said with your full chest. Take responsibility for what you said, and then keep it stepping from there. So I love that at some point you had Rachel sort of pull back for a chat and said, you know, I just want us to iron out our differences and keep it stepping, because at the end of the day, everybody else is now uncomfortable because of what's happened to us. Because initially you had Beck sort of come and sit with Rachel. Rachel was sitting with David, and David was calmly trying to pacify Rachel because he could see that Rachel was anxious. And so for Beck to come there and say, oh, but I apologize, it was a little comment, I wasn't being malicious, and I don't understand why you won't accept. And you're being told, give me a moment to breathe. Let me think about it and I'll come back to you. No, but I apologize. Yes, you apologize, but you can't offend me, then force me to accept your apology and force me to move on. And this is the issue. When they sat between the two of them, it continued, and it actually got so worse that Rachel ended up walking off. And it's like, why are you hammering on someone to forgive you? Oh, I was your friend when Gia and everybody else weren't your friend. I've been your friend all along. Now suddenly you're friends with them. And it's like, Beck has a lot of issues. She has a lot of issues. I'm sorry to say, I can't diagnose her. I don't know her, but she has a lot of issues, be it anger, be it mental health. Something is not right. There's something in the water that needs to be sieved out. And she wants to play victim, and she wants to make it seem like somebody else is attacking her when that's not the case. So in the end, you had Rachel and Stephen walk off and go to bed, which made sense. I appreciate that. And then Beck, realizing that nobody else was sort of buying into her mess, she decided to go on attack and decided to sort of, I think she was waiting for Gia and everybody else to call her out, because she started playing the victim card. And then you ended up having Scott and Danny sit down for a chat. They couldn't understand each other because there was now this back and forth between Juliet and Beck, because there was, exchange of words. You were very malicious. You're always attacking people, and it got so blown out of proportion that on her part, Beck wasn't expecting it, and she was so shaken by whatever word that was used that was blurred out that we couldn't understand. And so I think she got a taste of her own medicine. She expected to intimidate everybody, and sadly, nobody was buying whatever nonsense she was trying to sell. And so, for her to then try and sort of turn to Gia and say, Gia, you are the puppet master. When the husbands are not here, you're horrible to me. But when they are here, you pretend to be quiet and you let your puppets play. No, I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think she wanted to paint Gia as the villain. That way, when they go to the experts, you can say, but Gia said this, and Gia was 10 steps ahead of her and decided to keep quiet. That way, if anything happens and anyone is called out, she is not a part of that toxic mess. And so, to have the back and forth between Juliet and Beck, and then Beck storm off, and now have, Danny go and try and intimidate Joel to say, oh, your wife was wrong for the comment she made. Your wife was wrong. It's like, buddy, I'm here for Joel. Because Joel said, I've had a very good couple of days with Juliet. I'm not going to ruin that just because this man wants me to stick up. Yes, I know my wife said something wrong, but I'm not going to ruin that. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to keep quiet. And I love that Juliet, unlike Rachel, didn't back down when Danny was coming for her, because she told her husband, she said, you are not going to respond to this. You are going to keep quiet and let me deal with this man the way he wants to be dealt with. And we in the gallery were celebrating that, because at the end of the day, Danny and his wife have been intimidating and offending people and then turning around and trying to play themselves as the victims. So the idea that he was more offended by the words that came out of Juliet's mouth, but he wasn't offended by the words that came out of his mouth and of his wife's mouth, and the fact that she was saying she's going to make merch with the tagline that she sort of used to offend somebody else. I don't get it. For him to storm off and say, we're leaving, everybody, kudos to them for not following them. Let them go. Nobody needs them. Let them go and sort of have their come to Jesus moment, and hopefully they will sort of get the healing that they need. I think production ended up removing them because everybody else didn't want them there, and they were tired of trying to separate them. So I'm happy that they left. I can't wait for the dinner party. I hope it's brought up whatever was said to the experts, and the experts can handle it. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Click on the link in my video to watch my review from episode 22. Bye guys.